Jesus was a wordsmith. Now, let me explain what I mean. Well, when I say wordsmith, someone who uses words well, I mean, he really works it. We know historically, Jesus spoke Aramaic. That was the spoken language of the time. He had such a grasp of the language when he parables, proverbs, stories, whatever you want to call them. He had, firsthand, thousands of people listening to what he said. Um, and I could speculate that he knew spoken like Greek and Latin and stuff because he's probably a smart guy, but that's speculation. But another thing, he knew that things were going to be interpreted into English someday. My favorite one of my favorite verses these days is John 16:33. The second part. There's two sentences there. And Jesus was talking to his apostles, and Jesus says, "In this world you'll have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world." I could analyze this verse. Well, I am going to analyze this verse, but it could come out longer than whatever. I'm going to stop this probably at 10 minutes or something. But okay, the first word that I pull out is tribulation, because of course it was something different in spoken language. But see, Jesus knew that in English it would be translated tribulation. In some versions, trials. He knew it. Trials and tribulations. And what a tribulation is it's just something tough. You know life's going to get tough. You know bad things are going to happen. Life has trials. It has questions of, and bad stuff's going to happen. It's going to be tough. And this is a promise. Because see, Jesus, everything he said had a reason. He was very he was smart about his language. He wouldn't just say things that just to be saying them. He very intentional about his language, very intentional. So this first part, when he says, "You will have tribulations," in this world of tribulation, that's a promise. That's a promise. It's a fact. I mean, it's a fact and a truth, and it's who he was speaking to. He was speaking to his chosen apostles. The 12, the ones that we think, oh, they must have had a good life. Well, they probably did have a pretty good life, but not perfect. They had trials. They had tribulations. There was hard stuff to happen. It's a promise. When you follow Christ, life's going to get tough. Life's going to get tough. It's not going to be easy going. There's nothing in the Word that says, once you give your life to Christ, everything is easy sailing from there. Quite the opposite. Because he says, there's going to be tribulations. There's going to be hard things in your life. They just will. But, there's a flipper word, but. They probably had some other word in Aramaic. Maybe they had a dot or a hyphen or a Selah. Remember Selah? It's kind of pause. Maybe there was a Selah. Maybe he had a version of that. In English, it's but. Jesus knew we were going to use but. And you know what? There's something special about the word but. It's a conjugation. It brings together the two parts. Anything that precedes but in the sentence is less important. It's negated. It's overshadowed. Think about this. You are beautiful, but your hair looks bad. What do you hear? You hear your hair looks bad. Whatever happens before the word but, it kind of goes out. It's just because that's the way that our minds think. And see, Jesus knew this. He knew that because of how we think, the word but would negate what comes before. Because that's what he intended. He intends for us to not focus on the tribulations and the bad stuff. Focus on the next part. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Focus on that act of redemption. Focus on Christ coming. Focus on Christ overcoming the world. Don't focus on the tribulations. Focus on what comes after. But transitions into that. That's important. That second part is more important than the first part. Be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. And what does cheer mean? Cheer. Most people will think cheer and happy are the same thing. Cheer, smile. And I think that's part of being cheerful. But see, part of being cheerful and joy, being joyful in all things. You're not happy, but you're joyful, and you're cheerful is kind of in between the two, because when you're cheerful, you do smile. If you don't smile, though, it doesn't mean you're less cheerful, which is kind of weird. If you don't smile, you're not as happy, because happy is smiling and talking a lot, and so it's you can be cheerful and joyful, pleased, without smiling, being silly and talkative. Be of good cheer. So you gotta be it's like being satisfied, but being complete. More than just being satisfied, being complete, being a whole person. Cheer is just be full. Be full, basically. Be full. That's what I'm saying. Be full. And that's all I have to say about it for now.